Drop it.
Look, ladies and gentlemen, we need to have a serious discussion about what is going on in these markets. For the first time in my entire investment career, publicly showing my accounts here on YouTube, I'm getting DMs, personal messages, comments in that comment section about how I'm gambling, making horrible investment decisions, and that I need to liquidate my portfolio to protect myself because you guys are tired of watching me lose money. And I'm here to tell you your short-sightedness is just plain wrong, and you are absolutely crazy. The decisions you are making today are going to echo into your future in either for the better or for the worse. And I'm going to explain this farther, but taking a look at the S&P 500 Volatility Index, it is off the bloody Richter scale, returning to 2008 levels. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, we are officially in a full-blown crash mode right now. And do not let me understate the severity of this situation. I am definitely one of those people that are experiencing severe job loss, losing thousands of dollars, and I'm sitting at home getting bombarded with the same news you guys are. But the way you internalize it and the way I've conditioned myself to think about it is so drastically different that I need to point this out. But before I do that, I just want to take a look at some of the S&P 500 stocks that are alphabetically ordered from A to Z. We're only going to go through a few of these just to make a quick example, but take a look at the 3-month performance of these companies. These are world-renowned companies. You're going to notice that they are experiencing 20, 50, some of them are at 70% lows here, and you're only going to see the really odd green one, and it'd be fun to kind of deep dive into some of the green stocks just to see how they're performing against all of this. But going through the C list, taking a look here, guys, look at the D list. I feel like we're looking at a celebrity list. Looking at the E list here, guys, constant pain amongst all of these top tier companies, and the way you guys look at this is so different. You're freaking out, you're losing your minds, your portfolio is dropping, and all I see here is unbelievable value because the market is pricing these stocks as though there is no future. There is no 3-year time horizon. We are looking at it right now, and it is apocalyptic, doomsday-like scenario, and it's just, in my opinion, not. And as an example, yesterday Ryokan hit $12.45 a share. This was a stock I was pushing over the edge to take out a line of credit to buy into. In fact, I even bought other people this stock in the $13 range, the $14 range, and the $15 range. And the idiot that was selling out at the bottom for that $12.45, I promise you, in the next 3 years are going to be so severely regretting that decision, it's not even going to be funny. And the reason I am able to look at this stock and make those kind of decisions and buy into it at these levels is I understand the underlying asset value, and it has been so severely mispriced in this market that when this thing rebounds, it might not go back to all-time highs, but it could easily do something like a 50 to 80% pop. It's already done a 30% pop in the last 2 days alone, trading at its 2008 levels. And I'm not going to be breaking this stock down in this video. You can go check it out in yesterday's video. But the reason I'm showing this to you guys is because even though I'm not making an incredible amount of money right now, and I'm lucky enough to still have a little bit of money to reinvest in this market, I know for every single dollar I invest today is being priced as though we are stepping back 10 years in time, and that future time horizon fast tracks my financial independence retire early journey. How do I say this like Trump? The potential is going to be huge. That was absolutely terrible, but slap a like nonetheless for me giving that an attempt. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, I'm telling you this because we're going to wake up on the other side of this at some point or another. And if I can give you an example of the best person to model in a situation like this is somebody like Elon Musk. He has a 50-year time horizon on his mission to Mars. Most people don't even have a 1-year time horizon right now on their stock portfolios because they just liquidated the entire thing. Hopefully not at the bottoms. We don't know where the bottom is, and we don't know where this is going to go, but somebody is going to be making a really bad selling decision. I can promise you that much. And in my personal financial independence retire early journey, guys, it is getting so much more fast-tracked just because of this situation, and nothing has changed. I plan on being financially free in the next 8 to 10 years, but over the next 3 to 5 years, the potential for my portfolio is better than it has ever been. And every dollar, every soldier I put out in the force today, I promise you is going to come back with 10 times the value. Even though we might, again, not see the return to all-time highs, I'm just promising you that you're going to come back to this video, you're going to be listening to this, and you're going to be looking at these stock prices being like, damn, he was right. That is reality I know is going to come into fruition at some point. I cannot predict it. I do not make short-term predictions, but sometime in the next 3 to 5 years, and I could potentially see it happening in the next 12 to 18 months. Taking a look at my personal portfolio and what my time horizon is on this stock portfolio, well, you guys know my decisions haven't changed. I have set up a drip system on all my stocks, so I'm continually buying through these volatile times, presuming there are no dividend cuts. But where my real potential actually lies is in my growth stocks. Even though growth stocks perform terribly in situations like this, taking a look at something, say like an Apple or a Microsoft, or moving into my RRSP account with something like a Facebook or a Tesla, yes, those stocks are getting slaughtered right now, but they will be coming back. And in the next 3 to 5 years, when I decide to liquidate these, I plan on taking a really healthy gain that I'm going to be putting into some real high yielding dividend stocks. And that is going to fast track my dividend plans. And my dividend plans in the next 3 years is to basically be making anywhere from $800 to $1,000 a month. And I plan on doing that with my Facebook, Tesla, Microsoft, Apple, along with still contributing $500 to $1,000 a month to the portfolio. In the next 3 years, that's going to give me somewhere between $50,000 to $100,000 to reinvest into some really good yielding companies that should give my dividend yield a real big juicy injection to the upside. And taking a look at some of the decisions that I made in the macro, well, take a look at something like Ryokan, guys. I was buying it yesterday in the $13 range, and it is already up 20%. Though I wish I did it with the line of credit. I don't make drastic decisions, and the market went up way too fast. If it was staying at that $12 range, I would have had no problem throwing anywhere from $3,000 to $5,000 at it just for the next year on that line of credit. And again, I can't speak for any other generation other than my own. And considering I'm looking at the next 30 to 40 years of my life investing with being financially free in the next 8 to 10, which by the way, you're going to have to slap a like and subscribe to watch how all of this comes into fruition. I just know where I'm going, and I know that moments like this are only going to benefit me over that time horizon. And if you are sitting in a very similar situation, getting bombarded with all this news, I just hope that you can see what I'm seeing. We have investors out there like Warren Buffett, Carl Icahn, that are making massive investment decisions into companies like Delta, a car rental company like Carl Icahn was just investing in, and they are seeing major downside risk right now with those investment decisions, but they see the same value I see. I mean, we're not looking at what is going to happen in the next 3 to 6 months. I don't know whether the stock market is going to rebound from here, whether we're just doing a short-term pop to the upside before we see another big bubble burst to the downside. I can't tell you how that's going to work out, but I can just tell you guys that think I am making horrible investment decisions and that my entire portfolio is at risk here. You're just wrong. You're just utterly wrong. And if you cannot take the time to sit there and do your homework on these companies, you should not be investing whatsoever. You need to be handing your money to a portfolio investor. You need to be looking at some other way of growing your portfolio or going out to look for jobs to produce an income, because this is just not the game for you. And I just can't get over the fact about how the markets are still acting the way they usually do, like a 5-year-old child getting his candy taken away from him, throwing a crazy fit, running around, acting like it's doomsday when it's just not. And again, don't get me wrong, this is serious, but there is light at the end of the tunnel and nobody is recognizing it right now. And like the good old Buffett always said, guys, be fearful when those are greedy and greedy when those are fearful. And when there is gold raining from the sky, I hope some of you have somewhat of a bucket to collect this. And like I said, I know a lot of you might not have a huge income. I definitely don't, but I am looking everywhere for value, things I can sell, things that I can do, continue making these YouTube videos for you guys, anything that's going to even give me an inch, an extra $20, $50, $100 to invest in this market. I was buying stocks for people over the last week, and if I can give you some similar advice to them, if you can buy anything right now, including an index fund, buy it and do not look at it for the next year minimum. Don't even bother looking at it. I know that some of those investments I made did a substantial decline to the downside after I made them, only to rebound back over the last 2 days. And if you are new to investing and you are sitting there and watching that, you're going to have a fit. Like, you're probably not conditioned to handle something like that, and you're not conditioned to look at it appropriately. So when you watch it, your stomach's going to sink when you watch stocks you purchased a week ago drop another 10, 20, maybe even 30%, only to see them jump back back up. And I know a lot of people I invested for are green right now on those positions, but still, even though they're green, don't get excited about that, guys. You just started investing. You're not even 1 year deep into this yet. So just be patient, be calm. Don't take the news with a grain of salt. Yes, there's a lot of realities we are facing, and we are going to get through them. And I honestly think we're going to get through them with a lot more ease than we did in the 2008 financial crisis, because we're not looking at banks going bankrupt. A lot of people out there, yes, they're going to be losing their homes probably. And as Warren Buffett, if I can quote him again, guys, he said, when that tide pulls out, we can really see who is skinny dipping, because the reference to that is just the fact that those people that were highly leveraged, highly in debt, when something like this comes around, it is going to severely remind those that push themselves too far. People are going to be reminded what happens if you push yourself too far. And I've been very diligent through my entire investing career. I have zero debts. I don't owe anybody a dime. And luckily, I still have some cash flow coming in, putting me in this situation. The dollar I make past my bill payments is the $1 extra I can invest. And I am super grateful I put myself in the situation allowing me to do that, because most people are just more worried about their debts right now. More people are more worried about feeding their families because they didn't appropriate an emergency fund. And it's just crazy to me. Over the entire last decade of going through the 2008 financial crisis, people didn't learn these lessons. And if you are one of those people learning those lessons today, the best thing metaphorically you can do is, what do they say about trees? The best time to plant a tree was 20 years ago. The next best time to plant a tree is today. So if you are underwater, you're experiencing pain, start putting together a plan to get out of it, and then start looking forward on how you can never put yourself in that situation again. And if you are one of those idiots out there that are trying to convince me to sell my portfolio, I'm here to tell you, grow a pair and show me how your portfolio is performing, and tell me what your genius investment plan is, because honestly, I don't think you're a billionaire, and I would much rather listen to the smartest billionaires out there, and the people that have survived crash after crash, that have lived multitudes of these situations and came out better. And that is how I've structured myself over the last 5 years of my entire investment strategy. And I honestly only see better things going forward from here. And I absolutely love this situation. And I am definitely one of those people that really, really hope, believe it or not, I actually hope the markets keep downtrending. And that is so counterintuitive when your portfolio has already lost 30%. But as somebody that is not done investing, like I said, guys, we're stepping back in the time machine, and don't let this historical moment pass you. Stay cool, stay awesome, and I look forward to chatting to you tomorrow.